depleting substances. So see, we spoke about quite a few initiatives which were taken by various organizations, some to protect the ozone layer, some to protect the earth from global warming. So different initiatives were taken, and many nations, many countries had supported the initiative, and I think we still really need to take enough care of the environment if we really want to have a happier and healthier future. Question number 1. A biologist studied the population of rats in a barn. He studied that average natality was 250 and average mortality 240, immigration 20 and emigration 30. The net increase in population is, okay. So first of all, so here we have 4 things: natality, mortality, immigration and emigration. So let us say that if this is a population that we are talking about, so what are the parameters which will add to the population, which will make an increase to the population? Natality will make increase to the population. What is natality? Natality is nothing but more birth, or the birth rate, that is natality. So natality would cause an increase in the population. What else will cause an increase in the population? Mortality is death rate. So mortality would cause a decrease in the population. What about immigration and emigration? Immigration means people who are migrating from other places to this population. So that means these people are entering into the population. So obviously immigration would also add to the population. Whereas emigration means people moving out of this population. So emigration means people are going out. So that is getting subtracted from the population, right? So now you have to find out the net increase in population. So first let us understand what was added to the population. So the net addition to the population was what? Natality plus immigration, right? So whatever new births took place plus whatever number of people immigrated. So that would be the total number of people which added to the population, or that would be the total increase in population. So this is 250 plus 20, which is equal to 270. So 270 is the increase in population, but at the same time there was a decrease in population also, and this decrease was because of the mortality and emigration. So what will get subtracted from the population? Mortality plus emigration. So mortality here is 240 and emigration is 30, which is equal to 270. So basically what we see, so let's say that if initially the population was X, 270 was added to the population and then 270 was subtracted from the population. So what does that mean? The net increase in population is 0. There is no net increase. If the population increased by 270, the population also decreased by 270. So the net increase is 0. So D would be the correct option. Question number 2. A sedentary sea anemone gets attached to the shell lining of hermit crab. Okay, this association is ectoparasitism, symbiosis, commensalism or amensalism. So in this case the right option would be commensalism. Why? Because in this case, if you look at this relationship is considered to be commensalism by some, mutualism by some and proto-cooperation by some. So there are different views on this particular relationship. Now let us try to understand the relationship from our point of view. Now what is a sedentary sea anemone? So sedentary means something which is not movable. So something which stays at one place, or immobile. So an immobile sea anemone attaches itself to the shell lining of hermit crab. Now hermit crab is free swimming, so it can move from one place to another, but sedentary sea anemone remains at one place. Now when it attaches itself to the shell lining of the crab, what happens? The sea anemone actually gets a portable home. So that is the benefit for the sea anemone, that it gets a portable home. And how does a portable home helps? Now when it has a portable home, it becomes easier for the sea anemone to find more food, because now it can move from one place to another and can search for more food. So it basically gets a moving home or a portable home. So that's the benefit of sea anemone. Now let us talk about the hermit crab. Now, for the from the hermit crab's perspective, it may get some protection due to the stinging cells of the sea anemone, but we are not very sure what kind of benefit the hermit crab would get. But yes, we can say that it might get some benefit due to the stinging cells of the sea anemone. So in this relationship, what do we see? We see that the sea anemone is surely getting benefited, but the hermit crab may or may not get benefited. So this, as per us, is an example of commensalism. Now anyways, here in the options also, we do not have an option of proto-cooperation, so that will not be considered. So out of the options which are given here, we can consider commensalism as the best option. So how do we define? As per the definition of commensalism, we say that it is a relationship between organisms such that one is benefited. So that benefited organism here is the sea anemone, while the other is unaffected except to a negligible extent. For example, here the hermit crab is almost unaffected. Maybe we can say that it might get some protection due to the stinging cells of animals. So that would be just a negligible benefit which the hermit crab might be getting. So that ways we can say that commensalism would be the association between the sea anemone and the hermit crab. Question number 3. What type of population is represented by the following age pyramid? So if you look at this age pyramid, what do you see? You see that you have more people in the older age groups when compared to the younger age groups. Like this is the reproductive age group, right? So in reproductive age group, you have more people. But what about the younger age groups? So this represent the younger age groups, the pre-reproductive phase. So you have lesser number of people in the younger age group. Compared to that, you have more number of people in the older age group. Like even if you look at these blocks, the post-reproductive blocks, you have quite a good number of people when compared to the younger age groups. So this would be an example of a declining population. So what is declining population? That type of population where you have lesser number of younger people when compared to older people. So when you have more old people compared to the younger age groups, so that's a declining population. Question number 4. Consider the following 4 conditions and select a correct pair of them as adaptation to environment in desert lizards. Conditions: burrowing in soil to escape high temperature. Now, what do you think about the desert lizards? Now, the lizards staying in deserts, the temperatures are quite extremes. Like you have it's very hot during the day, it's very cold at night. So obviously, if the lizard can burrow inside the soil and it lives inside the soil, so it can escape from the high temperature. So yes, the first condition sounds to be a good adaptation for the desert lizards. Losing heat rapidly from the body during high temperature. Well, that doesn't really happen, that the lizard loses out heat from the body. So that doesn't happen in case of lizards. Bask in sun when temperature is low. Now, as we know that the temperatures are generally extreme in case of deserts. So these lizards, they enjoy sun and absorb heat when their body temperature drops below the comfort zone. Some of them can even burrow into the soil to escape the heat. So like they have these 2 adaptations for heat. So when there is a lot of, when the temperature inside their body is very low and outside it's sunny, so it kind of absorbs the heat so that, they can stabilize their body temperature. Insulating body due to thick fatty dermis. So insulating body anyways will not help in this situation. So the correct option would be option B. That is 1 and 3 represent the correct pair of adaptation.